I'm back here in Cape Town, and the guys from IMI Aprilia have really put a smile on my face because they lent me this stunning brand new Aprilia Tuareg 660 for the day. And what a different experience. The Aprilias I've ridden up to now, the RS660, the RSV factories, and here the new Aprilia Tuareg is what a wonderful machine. And it's just so nice to get off the tar roads, off the beaten track, and run around the back end, the countryside of Cape Town. Aprilia Tuareg 660, and as the 660 mentions, this motor is similar to that one of the RS660. I say similar because it has been changed slightly. The RS660 is a track focused bike for the road, this being more of an adventure off-road. The RS660 in that derivative produces 100 horsepower at 10,000 RPM. In this derivative for the off-road adventure bike produces 80 horsepower at 9,250 RPM. The main change being the cams have been changed to produce a flatter and wider torque curve. And more about the motor, for those of you who don't know, it's actually it comes from the two front cylinders of the RSV4 Aprilia and shares the same bore of 81 millimeters. Now this is a 4-stroke parallel twin double overhead cam, 4 valves per cylinder, liquid cooled. It is a 659cc Euro 5, as mentioned, 79 horsepower at 9,250 RPM, 70 Newton meters at 6,500 RPM. The bike weighs a mere 187 kilograms, which is quite light, so the power to weight ratio not bad at all. And if you have a look, minimalistic, no body work that's not needed, hardly any body work at the back, no rear mudguard to speak about. It doesn't have this plastic in front of the beak, if you want to call it, type front mudguard, more conventional front mudguard in front, a 21-inch spoked wheel in front with your ABS and Brembo's. Suspension travel is 240 millimeters. The rear end also has 240 mil travel, an 18-inch spoked wheel with ABS, Brembo's, that extended rear swing arm to give you that longer wheelbase. Great stance. If you have a look at that exhaust coming to the front over here, cleverly disguised over here, your cat, and it looks like it's part of the bash plate. All standard as you see it here, radiator tucked in away neatly. If I switch the front on, the daytime running lights actually quite cleverly as well looks like the Aprilia RS and new factories, the furrowed eyebrow look, all round a stunning look. Electronically, Aprilia, as we got to know them, have everything. They have the full 4 rider modes. You have your urban, explore, off-road, individual, everything is here. Traction control, cruise control, APRC, the Aprilia performance ride control, where you can change engine map, engine brake. Everything is on this bike. You will want for nothing. As here, your cruise control, everything is on this bike. As they say, from track to dirt. And the famous saying of less weight equals more fun. That's what this bike is all about. What we're going to do now is jump back on that bike and continue riding, exploring Cape Town on a stunning bike like this. This bike is definitely slim, stripped, lightweight, and no nonsense. Everything you need is on the bike and more. However, nothing that is wasteful or making this bike unnecessarily heavy. It's just super nimble, lightweight, handles like a charm. It feels like quite a tall bike. It definitely feels like an adventure bike, and off-road, light off-road scrambler style. really stunning. You sit very upright, very wide handlebars. Handlebars are raised, so when you stand up and ride, very comfortable. You're not leaning forward or leaning down. You can stand, my 6-foot frame, I can stand on the pegs totally upright, and I can reach the levers nice and wide. On the dirt off-road where we've been now, really got good control. That 21-inch does the job in front, and you can see yourself touring on this bike. The screen looks cosmetically small, but it does the job. I can feel maybe my shoulders on the outside are getting a little bit of wind, but here my chest completely protected, no wind resistance from the front. I'm not having any strain on my forearms or my chest to keep myself upright. It feels like a tall bike, however at 6 foot I get both feet, both sides down onto the ground and have good control of it. Suspension travel 240mm front and back. It feels totally good. Not wallowy and sloppy and bouncing. Stiffly sprung, but absorbs the bumps really well. If it gets too much on this firm seat, as I tried out, you stand up and it is just as much fun. And with this torquey, perky little motor, when you're on the gravel, you open the throttle, you really light up the back, and it's just crazy fun. So Aprilia's new latest concept, the latest generation Tuareg, is definitely a winner, and I think it's going to be just as much of a hit sales success as the Aprilia RS660 has been. If you have a look here, I can touch the ground both sides, not flat-footed, bent knees. The seat is quite slim over here, so it is comfortable, but what I really like is this old school petrol cap, the way the tank comes up, the acid gold paint job, the handlebars coming up like that, and really wide handlebars gives you good feel, good control. But with these handlebars on these handlebar risers and coming up like that, so when I stand up with my 6-foot frame, I can stand upright, completely upright, and I can still grab a hold of these handlebars. So if I'm touring for longer periods of time, or else if the off-road conditions are getting a little bit too rough to sit on this hard bench type seat, I can stand up and use my knees to shock absorb even more. Really feels great, comfortable. As mentioned earlier, if you look at how slim this ride is, my knees are close together, they tuck in nicely, and the screen is great. Could be bigger if you're going for touring through rain or stuff like that, but in a weather like this, these speeds perfect, and the motor is perky. If you look 110, if I roll on the throttle, stay in 6th gear, see how quickly this speedo climbs. Absolutely no problem to get into trouble. If you want to keep up with the bigger adventure bikes, you would have a little bit of trouble there. And if you want to run with the super bikes, yes, you would have a bit of trouble. But for you to tour, commute, and run around, it's stunning. The bike feels so light, really like a MX bike with plastics. Very stable, and again the suspension with all that travel definitely does not feel too soft in any way. Crashing it down the main road here. If you roll on the power, you can really see the power come on strong here, and this bike accelerates very quickly. Such a fantastic little machine. From track to dirt, and less is more. This front wheel tracks and is really confidence inspiring. So I must say, you've got your traction control, you've got your ABS. These modern bikes help you out and allow you to be a little bit brave and have more fun than you should actually have. Once again, here when I stand up, if I look down, it is made for me, this bike. This is so much fun, it should actually be illegal. It's always so sad that you have to give these bikes back at the end of the day, because your dream garage just wants the next one and the next one. These bikes today are so well refined, so confidence inspiring, and this Aprilia is no exception. It just straightens itself as it gets a bit of a head shake. It just straightens itself out. This is just too much fun. It's best to stand up in these undulations. As you can see, traction is kicking in, and I haven't really played with the rider modes. I just wanted to see if I'm a complete knucklehead and leave all the settings. Do I struggle or do I cope? I must say, I'm coping wonderfully. And the minute you stand up like this bike just takes it in its stride. When that RS660 came out, I could not believe how much fun that bike was. It was one of those lightweight super bikes that you really had to ride. You had to wrestle around. The wind did affect you, the crosswinds affected you, you had to counteract that, your body weight, and you just had to work it a little bit, and it was just exhilarating. It was so much fun. And again, this lightweight off-road bike, you don't know what to call it, a scrambler or off-road, an adventure touring bike. It's a crossover between all of them. You can definitely use it as an adventure bike, an off-road bike, a scrambler, and a tourer. It really covers all the bases, and when it comes to fun, I think this has wrapped it all up, packaged it all up in one great package. And I must say, my experience now playing with her, maybe on the tar roads, on the highways, yeah, you could want a few more horsepowers, a few more horses, but when it comes to the off-road section, the dirt section, the gravel section, the soft sand we were in, no, definitely you have enough power, does not scare you, very controllable. The electronics kick in They are intrusive if you leave it. You can individualize it and dial it all out to your preference. However, if you are a novice, as I just showed now, it does hold you back from doing something absolutely stupid and throwing it into the weeds. It is intrusive, but not to the point that it catches you out or snatchy or it bucks you, it rocks you wildly. It is completely controllable. What a lot of fun. I mean, at these speeds, or rolling it on proper, you can see the traction fighting it, but still incredible acceleration. And it was super smooth with the traction fighting it. I could feel the back wheel snake a little bit, but in no way. There we go, the light is flashing a little bit up front, but so manageable and so controllable. It's wonderful, and the power is just at that sweet spot where I feel it's not intimidating, it's not frightening. What a package. And there's no need to do over 200 on the highway when touring. These speeds are plenty. This is such a fun package. Loving it. I know I'm repeating myself, but so be it. This bike deserves it. There we go. Look at this acceleration. Look at this. More than that. It's such a perky motor. I don't even know how to describe it. It's perky, it's live, it's vibey. The vibrations you get through the frame and the suspension and the handlebars, it's alive. It's really alive. Gives you good feedback. You feel when the front is shaking around. If I shake the head a bit, it always straightens itself. Even on the gravel, it straightens itself. When you open the throttle at the back and it starts snaking, it straightens itself. You see that traction. I left it most intrusive, and it worked. Absolutely worked. The more you get to know the bike, the more you become one with your bike, the more you can dial it in the setting, the more confidence you grow in. You can become confidence inspired and just decrease the amount of interference, the traction and the ABS and everything else the bike gives you. You can dial in your engine mapping, your engine braking, just get that bike how you want it. And I must say, fantastic machine, fantastic. Have a look at this. It's just as much fun on the road as it is off-road. And I'll say it again, it's lighter, it's slimmer, it's trimmed down, it's meaner, and it's just no fuss, purpose-built scrambler, tourer, adventurer, whatever you want. This bike is the complete package. I hope you've enjoyed this episode with us of this Aprilia Tuareg 660. What a magnificent piece Aprilia has launched yet again. And I promise you guys, take this thing out for a test ride and you will have a smile on your face. Please, if you enjoyed this episode with us, give us a like, a thumbs up, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the reminder bell to help us build this channel so we can bring you more.